I'm Devin with Freckled Mom. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, hey. Today I am teaming up with Sandra at the Schwowen's Nest and Moom from Moomdas Life Handmade for a useful DIY challenge. This is a collab with other DIYers and crafters, so make sure when you're done with my video, you hop over to their videos, which will be in the playlist in the description. Also in the description are the links for the host channels. Check them out and subscribe if you haven't already. If you like my video, please give it a big thumbs up. Also, when you subscribe to my channel, you can see when I upload a new video. I have some trash to treasure transformations to show you. Let's get started. This one I'm so excited about. I have, definitely so many crafters that I love on YouTube. I don't think I could even name them all right now. There are just so many of them that I love and they inspire me. And bread boxes is one of them. So I told myself, whenever I go to a thrift store or a Goodwill or an estate sale, I have to look for a bread box. And I found one and I was so happy. And it wasn't even like a solid wood one, but it painted just fine. And it's super sturdy, so it doesn't matter to me. I think I can just transform anything with some paint, And this is just the front of the bread box that was just held in with like these little pins. So I popped the pins out and I took this off. I figured I'd get a better paint with this if I had it flat and I could get all the little edges of it. And again, I'm using that same paint that I used last time. It's just a plain paint from Walmart, antique white. I really like this color. I like to use, the same color on most of my pieces just because, one, it's budget friendly, but everything matches, I like that cohesive look. So this was a little difficult painting in the inside, only because the brush I was using had a longer handle than what the spacing was on the walls. So definitely I need to get a smaller handle brush, but I still did it. And after I let it dry, I just, did one side, then the other, and it worked out fine. But this is definitely, this was a tough color to paint over. It had a lot of bleed through. So I think I did about 4 coats on this. I think if it was solid wood, it probably would have been a lot easier. It doesn't matter. The results came out, amazing anyways. And if you saw on the side, there's a little bit of detail. Oh, it's just so adorable. I loved it. So you'll see later on how I had to use some, different brushes to get inside all the little detail spots. So I don't think I got videos of all the layers that I did. This looks like I'm on my second layer here, but like I said, I think I did about 4 layers. This brown was really seeping through, and I wasn't sure if I was going to distress it, so I really didn't want to go with spray paint. I just wanted to use, all the brush paint. But you'll see how this came out. This is the door that goes to the bread box, and it doesn't have a clasp on it. It just releases, it's just held in with little pins, so there's no magnets or anything I had to worry about, except for the other side. You can see where the little rivets were, little things that I had to paint in, but you'll see that again. So here I just did the same thing I did on my other one. I went to my Cameo and I picked a couple different things. I didn't want, cookie cutter kind of bread box. I didn't want the same thing that everybody else has. So I picked a little bit of this and that. And I also use an app on my phone called PicCollage, and so I like to do my own wording and my own fonts, and then in the Cameo I can stencil it out, and that way I make my own designs and I don't feel like somebody else has seen it somewhere else. And I'm sure, they have some variation of it. So this is just me measuring it just to make sure. You guys know I love to measure things. I measure 3 times before anything. And I just wanted it to, be perfect because I had so many different sizes. I had 3 different stencils I was going to put on there. And this is the biggest one. So I really wanted to get this one right in the center and make sure it was even and then I had room for the other 2 pieces I wanted to do. So here I have all 3 pieces that I worked on, and I stenciled them all together, and I'm just peeling them up now. And these were ones that I had made on my PicCollage, and I used the fonts Dawnton and Madriga. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but I'll put them in the description so you guys can see. I did end up distressing it just a little bit, only because it was a little bit of bleed through and I had to scrape away at some of them. So I thought if I distressed it, it wouldn't be so noticeable, and it really isn't. You can't tell that there was any bleed through. And it just, like I said, those little pins just stuck in. I had to make sure, you know, because I painted it, make sure the dried paint was out. So I had to do a little digging in there. Once I got the dried paint out, though, it just slid right in there, and it's just so adorable. And like I said, there was no clasp or anything. It just, when you pull it, it just comes down. But it's a super spacious little box. You know, you could put cookies in it or bread, whatever you wanted in it. I staged it up with a little bit of English muffins and some cookies, but you could really put anything in it. And look at what it looked like before. It's just someone's trash, you know? And it's adorable. I mean, that matches anyone's kitchen. It is so cute. So this is storage bench that I got off of Facebook Marketplace for $20. Super sturdy, but super ugly. So I could not get those sticky things off, and I went in with my hand sander. I still had some trouble, but that's the best I could do with the strength I have, and without asking anybody for help, I decided just to leave it. Oh well, it works. I'm cleaning it off. Anytime I spray any of my projects or paint any of my projects, I clean it first. I use Cred Cutter. I love that stuff. It was literally everybody I know uses it, so it is just such a great cleaner. And here I am just spray painting it with flat black. I was gonna distress this, and in the long run I did not, but if I ever feel like I want a little chippiness, I can go in and distress it. Now, I probably could have painted this and I wouldn't have wasted so much spray paint. It took me about 2 cans to get this whole thing just for the black. And then I went in with Heirloom White, and I love this. Look at that. Oh my goodness. So here's the mat, and I'm going to try my first attempt at upholstering a mat with foam. So this was a feat in itself to get this plastic off. This plastic was heavy duty and it was strong. So there was definitely no spills or anything happening on that mat. And so I really had no idea what I was doing. I just went to the store, bought some foam. I didn't even really measure it out. So when I got home, I was happy that it kind of fit perfectly, except for the end. I just had to do a little finagling over there with a different foam piece I had, and I got it to fit, so it worked out. That bread knife right there is a bad idea. I thought it was going to be a good idea to cut the foam with that. I don't know what I was thinking, kind of like a handsaw. As you can see, it was not the best idea, and so I opted for scissors, and that did the trick. So I thought it was going to be a little harder, and scissors wouldn't be able to do it, but it worked out fine. And there's Lincoln. He's my helper sometimes, just enjoying the sun. Like I said, I will appreciate any tips or tricks on doing foam and batting and upholstering, because this was my second time doing a bench, but my first time doing foam, and I definitely would appreciate some tips. Thank you. So I am using some spray adhesive just to put the batting down. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to, but I figured I didn't want it to bunch up, and I thought that would be the best way to keep it from bunching. But if you have any better ideas for that, let me know. But Right now, it hasn't bunched, so that's good. We haven't had too many people sitting on it yet, but we'll see. And as you can tell, I am a big measurer. I like to measure, and then cut. So it seems like everything lined up pretty good. And I'm definitely grateful for that because, when things don't measure up right, you feel like you did something wrong and you start over again. So I did not have to do that on this project, and that was great. So this is just canvas. I got some painter's canvas from Harbor Freights. It's like $8.99 for a huge tarp of it. I used this on a summer project on my bench outside, and that is doing great, with rain, and we've already had snow. That bench has, its fabric is great, its durability is great, and it's easy to clean up for stains. So I definitely will continue to use this, especially because I'm going for a coastal farmhouse look. I think, more canvas is just going to add to that. But anything that is durable is definitely good in my book because with the animals and all the kids in my house, we need durability for sure. So here I am just going to straighten everything out. I did all my measurements and I'm just stapling it down. Again, this is my first time doing something like this. I wasn't sure exactly how to go about it, but this seems to work. So I just stapled it and I cut off the excess. And then I thought that maybe I needed a little extra stability, so I went in with the hot glue gun, just so that way when I started pulling it tight, it, wouldn't pull or fray. In hindsight, after this was all done, I definitely could have pulled harder. I feel like there's a little bit extra on there, but, it's not noticeable, so I just hope that it doesn't, cause that batting to bunch up more because it has a little bit of leeway. But it came out for my, my first foam piece. I am so proud of it, so no bad words over here. And I'm just doing all the same things I did on the other side. I'm stapling it, pulling it tight, hot gluing it for the security, trimming off all the extra stuff just so nothing gets snagged. And look at it. It's perfect. It's so cute. I love it. So I'm going to be working on a coffee table today that I have in my living room. So it was a chocolate brown before. I'm not even sure where my husband got it. I think off the side of the road or maybe at a job. I'm not sure. But I sanded the whole thing down first. I started with my hand sander and that definitely did not work. I thought with all the little nooks and crannies I had to do that. But I ended up just using my hand sander and it worked out perfect. And then I went in through after with my crud cutter and I cleaned everything up. You can still see a shine there, and I thought, watching the video, I'm like, oh no, like that definitely the paint wouldn't have adhered to it. But I've had it sitting in my living room for, a few weeks now and it's fine. So that's it with one coat of primer, and that's 2 coats of primer. And I thought it needed something. So this is my favorite book, my Norman Rockwell book. And I love the artwork in here. So I picked out my favorite ones and I decided I was going to Mod Podge it. So they're different sizes. So I needed to measure a lot. You know me, I'm definitely, I like to measure like 3 times before I do anything. And I think they look adorable. Perfect coloring, not too dark for the white. And then I just podged it down. I used my fingers so I could feel the spots, which I still kind of miss some of the spots, but it actually looks really good, so I'm not too worried about it. And I just love these pictures. I just think they're adorable. And then I went through and I did a coat of diamond white, and those spindles took forever. I think that was literally like the hardest part of the project. But it's not too bad because it came out so good and so cute, and I just love it. And I wouldn't recommend always painting inside your house, but it was cold and I was adjusting to the weather, as you can see with my coat. And I was going to paint this room over anyways, the furniture and everything. So I figured, throw down a tarp and whoop-de-doo. But I love that white. I think it's just so adorable. Telling you, those spindles were probably the worst things to paint ever, because after I painted them, I noticed so many drips. And I tried not to do that on the other side, but it just didn't matter. The drips just came. So if you haven't liked my video yet, please do. It helps my channel. Thank you so much. And if you saw my little one there, he loves to make an appearance, even though he hates being on camera. I'm glad I did a lot of coats on this because I have both dogs and the cat that enjoy just sticking their mouth or their nails on my furniture for some reason. Not always to chew, just resting their mouth on things. It's just so weird. Animals are funny. It looks so cute. I love it. It looks like it needs something else though. Those pictures weren't enough. While they are super cute, they're not enough. So I decided to print out or stencil some letters on it. And this is one of the quotes I found from Henry Matisse, and I love it. Creativity takes courage. I ended up not stenciling it. I used my Cricut, which I wasn't even sure was going to work because it's from like 2011 and I don't always use it, but I've been using it a lot lately, so it works. I ended up adding another quote, follow your inner moonlight, don't let anyone dim your shine. And that's just something I like to say. I polyurethane the whole thing, and I just think it came out so adorable. I hope you enjoyed this video. I loved all these transformations, and I have more coming up, so make sure you hit that bell and subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you for watching, and please hop over to the next video on the playlist found in the description. I'm on Instagram and Facebook as Freckled Mom. Also, you can read my blog about motherhood, sobriety, fun projects, and delicious recipes at freckledmom.com. See you soon.